It's 135 The Beat, Miami's new number one for hip-hop, R&B, and The Breakfast Club. A very special guest in the building, legend in his own right, North Florida in the house, representing Plies.
What's up,
good?
Big bro? What's up? I'm chilling, man. What's popping?
Well, first of all, I have to say, it's an honor to have you here because when you've been so accomplished musically, like you've been, you don't have to do radio. It's optional.
You ain't too shabby yourself, man. You ain't too shabby yourself.
So it's good to have you here, have this opportunity. I want to go right out the gate and talk about, you do have a new album.
Yeah, Purple Heart, man, is on the way. Out here right now with the new situation, all the above. Brand new single from the project featuring Kevin Gates. A record that I'm excited about. We did it a little different this time. We took it to Atlantic first. Typically, I break the chain of command and I put it in the streets first. But, we did it the right way this time. Special record, man. I want to highlight not just the beautiful women this time on this particular record, but women that embody something a little bit more than just being sexy and beautiful. But, being intelligent, being hardworking, being bosses in their own regards. I just want to shine light on what I like to call all of the above, and that's just a female that brings more than just one element to the table.
Well, you normally on your Saturday sessions on the gram, usually have some great advice.
Hey man, hey, I try, man. I try.
I mean, listen, you've gone viral on many occasions with some of your advice, and a lot of it is spot on.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I think with what you do on Instagram, you kind of like you say what people think and don't have the courage to say. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that, man.
How you look at situations. How did that come about? And we'll go back to the album.
I think for myself, I'm a person that's I'm kind of tunnel vision a lot of the times, but I feel like I got a good team around me. My brother, who a big part of my situation. Yes. He was just somebody who felt like, all right, you over here and you banging out this Twitter thing, like this IG thing is a new thing. Like, I don't want you to do nothing different. I want you to be you, but let's put it through this app right here. Let's put it on, the current wave of the new thing that's going on. So for me, it's one of them things for me is it's just natural and it's organic. So I think that's the biggest thing for people who follow me on IG. It's not too many places I can go that a IG post of some sort don't come into play.
That is correct.
But I love it because it's not just an urban thing. I think it geographically it touches.
Yeah, it transcends for sure.
Yeah, it touches everybody. And I think at this stage that I'm in right now, musically, as an artist, that's the most important thing to me. Like, I'm gonna still take care of my backyard and make music that connects with my people. But I also like challenging myself to be able to make the records that gets both sides of the spectrum. So for me, it's a personal challenge for me musically.
Something a lot of people may not know about Plies. You're a college graduate, correct?
Nah, I wish I would have finished, but I definitely
you went to college, correct?
I went to Miami, Ohio, in Oxford, Ohio. I went there, played ball. At that time, I think, I look back at it, it's probably one of my worst decisions. At the time, I felt like from a priority standpoint, I wasn't together. I had one foot in the streets and one foot trying to do what I felt my mom wanted me to do, which was further my education. I don't like being in situations that don't make me look smart. Mm-hmm. So not finishing school, that was one of them things that is still on my to-do list. I think I don't agree with Sally Mae, so that kind of held me back a little bit from finishing up. But it was a great experience. I think coming from the streets and having the opportunity to play ball, and that was the first time I was away from out of the state, actually, from Fort Myers. I had never been past Orlando, but just being around a diverse group of people from all different ethnic backgrounds, I think that was when the molding of me really started.
Let's get back to the album. Why Purple Heart?
Purple Heart, I feel like, with all due respect to people who done served this great country, and me doing my research, I just felt like coming from urban America, coming from the struggle, coming from the bottom, I just feel that name embodies so much. I think it's the people that done been through the struggle, who done made it out and survived all the things that been set forth in front of us. So for me, it was my way of showing my respect to the people who have served this country, and at the same time, embody a phrase that I feel like so many of us, especially in minority America, are able to be able to navigate through so many things that, we live in a world that wasn't made for us. It wasn't built for us.
Gotcha.
And to be able to make it through it, I feel like a lot of us deserve a Purple Heart.
That's really dope. I like that. I like the thought process behind that and everything, especially with everything going on right now.
Yeah.
I want to. You said something that kind of touched me. You have always been known as a person to kind of move to the beat of your own drum, and it worked for you.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to listen now with this new situation and kind of like fall in line and do things the way how the label wanted you to do it, so to speak?
I've always listened, but I think they respect my craft too. I think a lot of times you become a perfect business partner for the label when you can go out and create your own situation, especially with your own paper and your own money and your own branding and your own team. So I've always worked like an indie, but at the same time, I'm smart enough to understand that I do have business partners. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm one of the few guys who not in a 360 situation.
Nice.
Yeah. So nice. For me, I try to be mindful of that too.
Yeah.
I feel like if, Atlantic gave me an opportunity, and that's something that I never forget. So for me, I have to have those moments where I got to understand I still make sure that the bottom line is connected and it makes sense for them too. They got a machine and they got things that I don't have access to, even in my own independent machine. So for me, I feel like it works good. Anytime I do come to the building and I bring something, whether it's Julie, whether it's Kaiser, they give me that same respect back. I think I earned that. And I think on that end, it's a lot that they've done for me that I felt like they earned when it's time to make sure we make it all make sense. That them the first people that I go and see.
That's what's up. Now, one thing I've always respected about you is that your style, your musical style, whether people chose to accept your slang, your style, the way you did things, it seemed to just work for you, and you stayed in your lane hard. You know what I mean? You never wavered. You never tried to seemingly be something you're not. You represented an area that you came from, and you took that across the world. And now we're seeing so many displays of that. And I can name other artists and stuff like that who are just being them or who are representing where they come from to the world. And it seems to be working for them too. Do you look at yourself as a leader in that?
I don't know. Coming from Fort Myers, the first time I got my situation with Slip and Slide, they came and found me. And I think that kind of allowed me to understand when you do and take care of your business up underneath and you make people come and see you, it's a different conversation than when you have to front end a situation and go see somebody else. So for me, I only knew one way at the time. And looking back at it, I try to pride myself in diversifying who I am. Like, I want to be able to be thrown into any situation and to be able to adjust and adapt. And I tell my little cousins and my partners them all the time, like, this hood thing, it reminded me like growing up around my grandmother. Them like she used to watch soap operas in the stores and As the World Turns and all that stuff that used to come on TV, and you could not watch it for 3 months and go back, and the same thing
and catch right back up. And
I look at the streets and I look at the hood the same way. So I always tell them we got this part figured out already. I think that's what makes the majority. They're able to figure us out. So for me, I take it as a personal challenge. I need to be able to figure them out. You know what I mean? And for me, the streets, the hood, the inner city, I grew up around that all my life. Like nothing really happens, but a few of us die and some of us go to prison, but everything comes back around full circle. So I spend less time worrying about what I already know, and I go challenge the things that I know little about.
You work with Kevin Gates on this new one. What do you think of Kevin Gates?
Gates is first and foremost, I feel like he's a friend of mine. I feel like sometimes just him being caught up in a situation, and at least how I look at it, a of treading that fine line that I feel like a lot of us come from when you come from the inner city. Like I talked to him last night, and I was telling him, like, that's the biggest thing and my biggest concern, being a fan of him and his situation. Like, I told him when I was in LA, I said, man, you got to stop moving like an ugly dude. Like you move like an ugly dude. I ain't say an ugly dude, but
right.
You know. And he was like, bro, what you mean by that? And I said, man, you got to move like you somebody.
Right.
You know, you can't move around here like a ugly cat. Ugly cat, he always mad about something.
Right.
Like, you can't be that guy. You know what I mean? And like I told him, I'm a firm believer, man. If God bless you and take you out of your situation, and put you in a prosperous space, I feel like the last thing you should be trying to do is prove to people
you down or something like that?
Who you used to be.
Right.
You know, and I always
still got it like this.
Yeah, and like I told him, hey man, if that back there matters that much to you, then give all the blessings away. Let God get it to somebody else.
Right. That's
you know
dope.
what I mean? And for me, I think he takes the honest criticism from me. I take the honest criticism from him. But he's just that dude that on a personal level, he's already won in my opinion, but I want to see him win even bigger.
Right.
But I told him the only thing that'll ever stop him from being a legendary, iconic guy, in my opinion, is him.
It's himself. Yeah. Yep. I want to ask you about something. I'm going to take you back a little bit. This was something personal that I was trying to figure out. Weirdly enough, I championed you in it, so I want to start by saying that.
Right.
But I want you now to tell me how it really played out, because I think at the time all we could do is speculate.
Yeah.
So there was a DJ Khaled song, and the video rolled out, and you weren't in it. And word had it that
which video was it?
Is it We Taking Over? One of the songs that you were on. You were definitely on one of the songs. I think it was that one.
Taking Over?
Yeah, I think it was We Taking Over.
No, it's been a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was that, and then and at the time the rumor had it that Khaled didn't come with the bag, and we know if you don't know, you get paid to make appearances in music videos. You know what I mean? It's your time, just like studio or anything else. So when I heard about it, and I'm a fan of Khaled and yours, I'm close at that time to Khaled. I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? Because I kind of know how Khaled is too. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I didn't look at it as a bad thing on your end, but that was just the rumor that was out at the time. So I want to kind of ask now what it was.
Just so for the record, like, first and foremost, I got the utmost respect for Khaled. Like, Khaled is one of few people in the industry that when he hit me is considered done.
Yeah.
I think it could have been that particular video. If I wasn't there, it was just a scheduling conflict. Like, for me, Khaled money ain't no good with me. You know what I mean? And I mean that from a sincere place. Like, when it come to Khaled, I think I've probably, if I added it all up, I think Khaled probably got about 6 figures worth of verses from me for not 6 figures.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I ain't never charged nobody for a video ever.
Right.
So for me, if I remember the situation correctly, I think it was probably just more of a scheduling thing on my end. But Khaled know what it is with me, man. Like, he's one of few artists. I ain't got to talk to Khaled for 6 and 7 months at a time. When he called me and he hit me, he already know it's considered done. So for me, I was just telling somebody this at another situation that I was just doing. I'm a good person to set a rumor out there about whether you a female, whether you an artist in the industry, because I don't get into the gossip. So for me, I'm never going to defend me because it don't matter. Like, to me and the person that I'm in the rumor with, you know what I mean? Like,
as
they
long as
know
y'all straight.
they know what it is with me.
Because you can't control it anyway.
Nah.
And then sometimes when you open up your mouth, you make it worse.
Yeah, so for me, I've always learned a long time ago, when you get into this business, it's part of making the good money. You know what I mean? It's part of it. So, but for the record, nah, man.
No, I appreciate you clarifying that, because that was just something personally that I wanted to kind of have a little bit of insight on.
I wouldn't even tax Khaled, man.
That's love, man.
Yeah, it's love on his end. Like, Khaled, for my situations, you know, a lot of Khaled was doing Khaled, I was doing me, but I think some of those situations that he allowed me to be a part of, whether it's the I'm So Hood records, et cetera, like I was his go-to for a while. You know what I mean? And I've always respected him for respecting my craft enough to even view me and look at me in that light. And like I said, for me, I've always respected him being one of few artists, if not the only artist, who could get people on the phone who probably don't even deal with each other.
Yeah. I always read him for that, yeah.
Yeah, and for that particular moment, people forgot that they had differences, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for him, he's always been a person that I always double saluted for that.
That's what's up. My Rock.
It's all right.
Yeah, man. You saw some radio love on that song, and
appreciate it.
And a lot of people really appreciate it. What was the vibe behind You're My Rock?
You know what? I went to the studio that day. I remember I sent that record to my brother. I said, "Hey man, you might not like this record, but I think it's kind of cool." Like I wrote that record as if I was writing it for somebody else. But at the same time, I wanted it to embody a space of music that I felt wasn't happening at the time. When I looked at just the value of just women.
Man.
I was just telling somebody this too the other day. I'm always just telling somebody something. But it's different, man. Like I just think it's different now when I really look back at life and how I view certain things. Like I don't even want to mess with a female no more if I don't like you, like really like you. Sexually, I don't even want to be like I want to really like you.
Yeah.
And for me,
there's a difference.
I think for so long, like I never understood I was supposed to really like a woman. You know what I mean? Like I never really understood that part. And so for me, I just ask myself questions all the time. Like if I was involved with somebody and if I went to prison or if I went to jail, well, I say it the other way. If she went to prison for 10, 15 years, would I wait around for her? And I already knew that answer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Ain't nothing now. So I know, you know, you going away for 10, 15 years. So I started looking at things and say, man, like what I'm holding and expecting from women, it ain't even something I'm willing to give them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I started looking at it through their lens. And I think Rock was the first record that I had made that I said, man, you know what? It's crazy, but some of the things that women are willing to do for us from a loyalty standpoint, from a support standpoint, and them just being our spine for real, I was like, man, I just really want to make a record about that. I was like, I don't know if the street's gonna be cool with it or if it's gonna be too soft, because you know, some records for me, it's a fine line. Like you can go too far sometimes, and your base may consider it to be lame or corny or whatever the case may be. But as soon as I sent it to my brother, he texted me back, emailed me back probably in 2-3 minutes, and he was like, "Man, congratulations, you got one." So for me, it was a good moment. The video was fun.
Yeah.
Was able to shoot that in Orlando, but for me, man, I just like the goalpost move every day in this game, and I just try to, on my end at least, make sure I move with it.
Well, I thought it was brilliant, and not only did I think it was brilliant, I thought it was well deserved. I don't think, like I remember when Jay-Z, with his last project, people were putting so much pressure on, like, oh, he's changing. We can evolve, you know what I mean? It's okay, you know what I mean? It's all right for Plies to see, like you said, to feel differently about women and now express that through your music, and your audience should evolve with you. You know, we can't be the same ignorant jits that we were 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So I loved it, and what I loved most was how you made the women feel. You gave them a song that was like an anthem for them.
Bro, you know, women calling me, like, probably 7 years ago, like, that used to aggravate me. Like, why are you like, bro, like, they used to aggravate me. And now I don't think I want a woman if they don't call me. You know what I mean? Because before I used to be like, man, this is like, you ain't got nothing else to, like, go do something.
Right.
But the difference was,
I think I seen a Saturday.
Yeah, but the difference is if it's 15 women calling your phone,
right,
and that's going on, that becomes aggravating. But I just think when you understand life better, I don't want a woman who don't aggravate me. Like, my job is to make you aggravate me. Like, I want to really run you crazy in every aspect of life. I want you to feel lost if I ain't around you.
Right,
You know what I mean? And so for me, that's how I look at it. Like, I want a woman now that's a little crazy. Before, I ain't want no crazy one. I was like, I want to flat out crazy woman. I just want her to be crazy sometimes.
Right.
That's sometimes crazy. You know what I mean? So for me, I just think, like I said before, man, like, when you look at life of what it's supposed to be about and what it's supposed to be for, life is kind of fun. You know what I mean? And I think I just coming from the bottom and come from where I come from, it was just about getting the bag, man. It was just about getting money. But what's the purpose of getting money if you just gonna blow it? So,
yeah. Look, Plies, I could talk to you for another hour.
Hey, man, I could talk to you for another easily hour too, man.
This is a great vibe, and I'm so appreciative of this opportunity. But I'm really excited for you and what's gonna come of Purple Heart.
Yeah.
What are some other features you have on there, or some things about Purple Heart you'd like to talk about?
I got a record that it probably ain't gonna be the biggest record ever, but when people ask me, what's favorite records of mine, they typically aren't the radio or the hit records. Right. It's just records that's personal to me. And I got a record on my album. I took my time with the record. I kind of worked on it for probably about 3 months. But it's called Dinner at the White House.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a conversation that I always said, if I had an opportunity to go in the White House and sit down at that table, this is everything that I ever say.
When Obama's there or Trump?
The current situation.
All right.
The current situation. I ain't had to talk to Obama. Obama was good.
He was, take a picture.
Yeah, he was good. But yeah,
got you.
That record is a record to me. I think it's gonna be different for a lot of people. People I don't think really, probably indirectly heard me talk about political matters, whether it was 100 years and all that stuff back in the days. But that's a record that I'm really proud of. It's just, for me, it's a space that I'm in right now. I try to study that part of the world now, make sure I know what's going on out here, to be able to move a little bit smarter. So that's one of the records I'm excited about.
So were you upset to see that Kanye had a wasted opportunity? That if you had that opportunity, you would have made the most out of it in comparison to that puppet show that we saw?
But I think that's what makes America so great, because all of us are different in our own ways. Like, for me, I just don't respect situations that when you were coming up from the bottom of it, and the people who made you who you are, now that you become who you are, those people and those things don't matter to you as much as they used to.
Yeah.
I just find that as being a problematic situation. Like, anytime you use politics for financial gain, that's a dangerous situation. And I think being from the hood, being from the inner city, we can agree to disagree. But anytime you sit back and you premeditate situations that you play crazy, every time it's time for you to sell something, I look at those situations as disappointing situations, because you become an animal when money mean that much to you. And I feel like you ain't even human no more if the bag is all that matters to you. If you willing to take out your loved ones and people that loved you from day one over a bag, over money, we just different.
Yeah. Not to dwell too much into politics, but I know this is another one that's going to be near and dear to you. So today is actually voting day.
Absolutely.
You're a Floridian.
Yep.
There's Amendment 4.
Yep.
that's up right now that could possibly allow 1.4 million people to get their rights
back
restored. How do you feel about that?
I went through it with my brother. Like, that was one of them situations. I'm a fan of the Amendment 6 too, but the Amendment 4 situation, like, you know, I always tell people, I was telling, I could have been Cannon. I know we was in Jacksonville, and I said it's crazy because you can commit a crime in this country, you can pay your debt to society, you can come home, and for the rest of your life, your everyday activities can be affected by that. But that ain't the thing that I find a problem with. If you feel like he or she should no longer have the right to be able to have an impact on this country politically and be able to vote, then why are they good enough people to still pay you your taxes? You know, and for myself, I look at it that way. If they no good to you, that they can have no say so in the political realm, then that's fine. Then you shouldn't care nothing about them financially to still make them pay you taxes as if you accept everything about them, because that's just not valid information. So for myself, anytime you look at a system that decides what's a felony or not, and I guess if you look at the statistical information, the minorities is who that kind of really affects.
Yeah.
You know, it's no different what's going on in Georgia right now. Like I wouldn't think 2018 it would still be voter, you know, suppression in Georgia. But the thing that's crazy to me is that all of this stuff is front and center now. Like, they're not hiding nothing no more. Like, it's, you know, it is what it is. So for me, it's just like Barack winning it, you know, 2 terms in a row. I felt like if he could have ran 5 more times, and if he got us excited, he would have won 5 more times. And that's the thing. Money at first, they was hoping we didn't figure out how to get money. Then we figured out how to get money. But they stopped worrying about us getting money because we blew the money when we got it. Now the last thing they're hoping we don't figure out is the education and the politics side. Because if we ever figure out that part of it, it's a whole different ballgame. That's
what I call getting woke.
Yeah. So, no.
Plies, you're an amazing person, man. You dropped so much knowledge that I couldn't have imagined how amazing this interview would be.
Hey, man. Hey, I got candy, man. I'm here for the rest of the day, man. Y'all she was telling me outside, she said, look at this candy here, man. This is rich candy right here.